Hi guys, Andrew here from the Franchise Tag Podcast with your Week 4 must-start wide receivers. Now, first up, it's T. Higgins. It's been a bit of an up and down season so far for him, and he's not been his usual plug-in-and-play fantasy option that we're used to in previous seasons. He has had that one big game that came against the Baltimore Ravens, but this matchup against the Tennessee Titans is a good one, and you can't miss out on putting him in. They've allowed the fourth most yards to wide receivers and 4 touchdowns, and they're ranked 29th against the wide receiver. We've already seen Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and Chris Olave have success, and I see the same happening for T. Higgins this week, so get him in. Next one up is Tank Dell. He was a waiver wire target this week for us guys. If you caught the show, and if you managed to snag him and get him, lock him in straight away. 21 targets, 15 catches, 2 touchdowns. The usage is there, and his speed looks great for those deep balls and a deep threat for a team that throws the ball so much like the Houston Texans this year. And they're going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've also given up the 5th most yards to wide receivers already. So Dell, for me, is a must start. Now, the next one up, bit of a rogue one. Might not be, depends how you feel about the Chicago Bears at the moment. It's DJ Moore. Despite how disappointing the Bears really have been this year, this is fantasy football and not real football, and those good players on these teams still have value. So DJ Moore, when it comes to fantasy, he's still got it for me, and this matchup is fantastic. Going up this week against the Broncos, who have allowed 547 yards and 5 touchdowns to wide receivers for 3 weeks. Moore has seen 13 targets over the last 2 weeks, so the usage is there. And it's good to note that both Terry McLaurin and Jacoby Myers both had their best weeks for fantasy against the Broncos. So this could be the same scenario, and it could be the best week for DJ Moore so far. So lock him in this week. Now, my next one, it's DJ Moore to Elijah Moore. So another Moore, Elijah Moore. I've always said the key to value at wide receiver in fantasy is targets, because if the targets are there week in, week out, the opportunity is there for the points. Elijah Moore has had 22 targets through 3 games. Last week, he had 9 targets, and he caught all 9 of them. He's going up against the Ravens. We said last week they've really struggled against the wide receiver. They've given up double-digit fantasy scores to 6 wide receivers already. So the combo of those targets and him going up against the 27th ranked defense against wide receiver, this could be Elijah Moore's week. And my last one for you guys is Jacoby Myers. Now keep an eye on Jimmy G's injury status for the week, because obviously he did have that concussion. So we're just checking to make sure he can play. But if he is good, then get Jacoby Myers in. Jacoby Myers returned to the field after missing a week with concussion himself, and returned with a stat line of 12 targets, 7 catches, 85 yards. That's now 22 targets in the 2 games that he's played, and he's now going up against a Chargers defense that doesn't really seem to know what they're doing. They're ranked 32nd against the wide receiver. So all these signs are pointing towards Myers being a high-end wide receiver 2 for fantasy and a must-start for week 4. Hope this helps, guys. Keep it with the franchise tag.